Folks, do you want to see some good-ass news? I know you do. Good news is in short supply these days. There might be a future for American democracy. Not necessarily a total aversion of the collapse, but let's say there's some positive indicators coming out right now. Abdul El-Sayed, in new polling, shows that he is just straight up mulching Haley Stevens, despite AIPAC dropping more money on this race than God.
News 8 is your local election headquarters, and new numbers from Wood TV and Emerson College show results that may surprise you in the races for the open U.S. Senate primary for Democrats and Republicans.
I was hoping for a little bit more bombast. Can I get a little bit more bombast?
6 News is your local election headquarters, and this morning we have results from an exclusive poll that sheds new light on the Democratic race for Michigan's U.S. Senate seat.
Wine.
The poll by Emerson College shows Abdul El-Sayed with a 15-point lead over Congresswoman Haley Stevens, 54 to 39%, while only 6% were undecided. This poll of 700 likely...
That's really fucking good. 54% to El-Sayed. I feel like the primary is basically in the pocket. Don't give up. Don't get complacent.
Voters in the Democratic primary happened on June 26th and 27th, one day after Governor Gretchen Whitmer endorsed Stevens in the race. It has a margin of error of plus or minus 3.7.
Genuinely, AIPAC and the establishment are going to break against the immovable wall that is Abdul El-Sayed here. All the AIPAC money in the world, plus the endorsement of major Democratic figures, implicitly the Democratic establishment, including the sitting Michigan governor, and still Haley Stevens is getting crushed into the dirt. Oh, thank God. Thank God there's a limit to how hard you can buy an election. In the Republican Party, there is no limit to how hard you could buy an election. If Jeffrey Epstein came back to life and ran in any Republican race, he would win if he got enough AIPAC money backing him, 100%. Absolutely he would. Republicans are barely literate, not on our level, not even close. Peasant would be a compliment, because peasants were at least bound by basic rules of civility. Just totally beneath us. But Democrats, thank God, Democrats are real human beings with the same blood as us. Thank God. You cannot infinitely buy elections in the Democratic Party. Please God. Oh man.
The results come as we're less than a week before the August 4th primary. We have many more details about this story on our website, WLNS.com, and our Capitol correspondent, Tim Skubic, will do a...
The Democrats? The Democratic voters. Yeah, Lane the Goose, I saw that. 15 points ahead in this polling. Man, oh man. With only 6% undecided, it feels like there's not much of a margin for them to pull from either. If you hear any noise in the background, it's because the Blue Angels have returned to Seattle. My favorite, I should sue them. Fuck them. She's about to look like the biggest clown at the end of this. Well, Haley Stevens isn't really like a human being, so I don't think she feels shame the way that we do. I don't think she cares that she's going to be a clown. She's going to like coast off of the numerous, like Haley Stevens is like Barry Weiss. You can fail up as much as you want; it doesn't matter. For Zionism, failure is actually very much an option. You know. She'll just go somewhere else. She's just gonna turn into some like Rahm Emanuel-esque figure, just some like nagging voice in the background who chirps up every election to remind voters they don't deserve good things, you know? Doesn't this rapid shift in polling seem suspicious though? No, I don't think so. I actually think the polling has been consistently trending towards Abdul El-Sayed's favor. I think that Haley Stevens is just really unlikable, and also the debate between them was both highly publicized, very watched, and also a total blowout for him. Basically, all the media that I've seen evaluating people's opinions on the debate between Abdul El-Sayed and Haley Stevens show that it was a nightmare for her. Israel might come to her in her dreams, but Abdul El-Sayed comes to her in her nightmares, okay? He was giving her ass night terrors. This polling data is pre-debate? What was the time range? July 26th and July 27th. Oh my God. Okay, never mind. This isn't even explained by the debate performance then. This is just straight up. Okay. Wow. All right. Well, did she actually see the Israel thing? I get this question a lot because it's actually so insane she said that. But yeah, no, she did say that Israel comes to me in my dreams, but that is true. That is real. That is absolutely real. What polling were you seeing the past few weeks that made you worried? I haven't. The polling has been consistently pro Abdul El-Sayed. It's leaned more in that direction. There was like one really, really erroneous poll that was conducted by a biased third party, which I didn't believe in, and there were a couple of like worrying internals. No, actually, Haley Stevens hasn't even been releasing internals. It wasn't internals. It was just Haley Stevens favoring pollsters. Kalshi? Nope. Kalshi's been consistently pro Abdul El-Sayed for the past couple months. No, I've been bullish. I just want him to win by the biggest margin possible. And remember, all of this is for naught if we lose to Peters. Remember, folks, the establishment has the right to lose as much as they want. Establishment Democrats get to lose and lose and lose. It's all they do. They love losing. And if they lose, it's your fault. When Kamala Harris loses, it's your fault for caring about a genocide or whatever else. It's your fault when the establishment loses. But we don't have that luxury. We don't have that luxury. We do not have that luxury. We have to win. Whatever effort we have expended in winning the primary, it has to be tripled in winning the general. Tripled. The failure is not an option here. There is no I am not exaggerating, especially with Abdul El-Sayed, to a lesser but still very important extent Hong. Certainly with Troy Jackson in Maine. These are races we cannot afford to lose. The victory over the Republican, it has to be, as we're talking like a crushing, more effort has to be expended here than ever. Like I'll put it this way, okay? Imagine the timeline where Bernie Sanders beat Hillary Clinton in the 2016 Democratic primary. Imagine the timeline we'd be in right now if Bernie lost to Trump. Everything Trump did, every excess, every law broken would be blamed on us. To an extent, the Democratic establishment already does try to blame us for all of it, right? But like in this case, in this timeline, they would have a reasonable pretext for doing so. It would cripple our movement. We cannot lose. We cannot lose. We cannot lose these races. Haley Stevens is the stepping stone that we crush beneath our feet on the rise to beating the general, okay? The Republicans have to be left in the dirt. We have to leave them fucking dazed and confused. I don't even want them to know what was going on. I don't want them to even have a narrative. I want, what the fuck? The Abdul El-Sayed getting inaugurated. I want the Republicans I want footprints on their faces. 400% of the vote. More Abdul El-Sayed votes than there are residents of Michigan. Michigan. Please. No, I mean it. I mean it. I mean it. I mean it. Very important. I love Michigan. It's all right. Oh, man. Haley Stevens, better the only Stevens. And Rogers. Based on the CNN article, we might actually get 400% of the vote. Yeah. A resounding success in Michigan, Maine, and Wisconsin is going to contribute substantially to the popularity of the Democratic socialist movement within the Democratic Party. Ads, I know. But it's big. Of course, it's worth remembering, these people, voters are cattle. These people don't know what socialism means, democratic socialism. The whole term democratic socialism is stupid. Socialism is definitionally democratic. Anything that's undemocratic isn't socialism. But whatever. Voters will always be cattle. It's a signifier. It's an indicator of how satisfied they are with the establishment. Tallarico's also polling well. Yes, he is. Though, thankfully, the Texas is a straight toss-up as far as I understand it right now. If Tallarico loses, and I really do not want him to lose, it'll be pretty easy to blame Jasmine Crockett for being a massive sore loser and trying to disenfranchise the black vote against him with phony accusations of racism. It's not as easy to blame us. Mind you, again, I'm not really interested in symbolic victories here, because whether or not we're blamed for Tallarico losing really only matters in the context of like petty Twitter arguments. I want to win! Real victory! 1,000-year DSA Democratic Party. Not that Tallarico's DSA.